Hello and welcome to the Answer is Yes podcast. This is our Baja Sessions show every Monday, so tune in if you want to learn more about Baja and what's happening down there. I usually have some interesting guests that have great perspectives on everything in Baja and will get you to where you need to be. So with that being said, this episode is sponsored by Baja Bound Insurance Services. If you're driving to Mexico, you can buy and print out your Mexican auto insurance policy online in minutes with their easy-to-use website. They also have great travel information to help you plan your trips south of the border. Visit BajaBound.com, the easiest way to get Mexican auto insurance. I don't know if this next guest uses Baja Bound, but he should. I've used it a bunch of times. I know usually when I'm driving down there, I forget, and then I hop on my cell phone and grab a policy real quick, and they've been really nice to work with. So anyways, hey, today I have Brian from Bink Designs on the line. What's happening, Brian?
Hey, Jim. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. You know, I haven't seen you for so long. I know you're just buried in work or buried in dust, as it may be, right?
Oh, totally, all the time. Never stops.
So for those of you that don't know, Brian is a professional photographer, marketer, and has been in and around off-road for a lot of years. How many years have you been in off-road, Brian?
We have been around now since 2007, so that'd be we're going on our 11th year.
Oh my!
So yeah, quite a while now.
Gosh, and you know what? You corrected me by saying we, because you have a team of people that work for you. I just see you, and I figure you're a one-man army, but you have a team of people that work for you.
Yeah, I do have a couple other people that help me, assistant photographer and another designer and writers as well. So yeah, we got our hands full with a lot of different people, and working all that in. So.
Yeah. What made you get into that business in the first place? Was it love for off-road or love for photography or a little bit of both?
It was a little bit of both and really a love for automotive. I loved cars growing up, and I kind of stumbled upon off-road stuff with obviously the, Mickey Thompson days, and then, Robbie Gordon's videos and everything like that. And I just kind of fell in love with it. And I just wanted to get involved somehow.
Yeah. I think you have the gift of youth, because when you say Mickey Thompson and old Robbie Gordon stuff, you look so young to me. I'm thinking, how are you even around then? But you have been around for quite a while.
Yeah, I was a young buck then, so it's just all came together with us. I wanted to figure out an avenue how to get in. So I went to school for graphic design and science and media arts. And that covered video and photography and web design, print design, and got my bachelor's in that. And then from there, I went to go help assist my friend Jason McNeil at Fiberworks.
Uh-huh.
So that's where we kind of began our career, kind of working together, helping him drive his business and me starting my business and growing it from out of his offices.
So, with what you're doing now, how many series are you shooting for and working in from a marketing perspective?
So we are currently doing the entire Best of the Desert series, Score series, as well as the Lucas Oil series. And then we do select, was Torque series, but now, managed with the Midwest with Lucas now. So we usually always do Crandon, and then, we do a handful, obviously, trade shows every year as well. SEMA, Off-Road Expo, Sand Sports, and PRI show now.
I would say you're absolutely crushing it. As a racer, I know how hard it is to just race one series like Best in Desert, let alone two, let alone all the ones you just rattled off, plus SEMA. Some people center their whole year around going to SEMA and having a vehicle there, and you're doing all this other stuff, plus you usually have a vehicle at SEMA.
Yeah, we are. We've done a few builds for SEMA and had them there on show in General Tire's booth a couple times, and it's gone over really well. We're building two new vehicles this year, hopefully to have on display on SEMA as well. A new Can-Am X3 Max and a new 2018 Ford Expedition that they just did a whole overhaul on. So we're really excited to build those two vehicles.
Yeah, well, I got to say, there's nothing that you've put out that I didn't fall in love with, whether it was the design elements or the equipment that you set it up with. I know you've got some great partners. You and I really met through our General Tire connection I know you were out in the field, but I didn't know you real well until you started shooting for General Tire, or you were already shooting there when I signed up with them. But you have some great partners that have been with you for a while, right?
Oh yeah, we've done we got Baja kits, MagnaFlow, General obviously, Fox, Method Race wheels, Baja Designs. I mean, I could rattle off a bunch more, but
Yeah, we don't have enough time for that.
We got plenty of time, enough time, So, but we have a lot of great partners, and very fortunate to work with many of these great people and their companies and everyone within. So we're truly excited to have everybody on board that helps us.
Yeah, that's great. Well, the reason why I called you is because I look at you as a person that's an expert, not only in your field, but in your travels. And most often I'm seeing you down in Baja when I'm down there for the vintage Baja 1000 in my 57 Chevy. Matter of fact, you took one of the most epic photos of my car that I've ever seen of most vehicles traveling through the desert. I'm sure you remember the one I'm talking about.
Oh man, I love that photo. That Rippin' Rooster is that photo is probably one of my favorites as well, Jim. And that gets me going down to Mexico. That's what I dream to shoot every time. Just get that one, those shots, those moments in time. I love it. I love it.
Well, what's incredible about it, so for those that haven't seen the photo, we were crossing a dry lake bed that turned into a silt bed that turned into a mess. A lot of carnage out there, and somehow we managed to get around a lot of that. Came out the other side, and the car is covered in silt dust flying through the air, really from the front wheels all the way back, and you can just see enough of that 57 to know it's a race car. And you captured that perfectly, from the light to the dust to the rocks in the air. I mean, it's just unreal, the photo that you got.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and it's amazing we get to capture some of the things we do, and nothing's better than that nice light at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like we call it the golden hour.
Yeah,
and it's just beautiful. So I hope you all get to see it one day.
Yeah, well, I've given a lot of them away. You talked me into buying the really expensive print because you knew it was worth it, and it absolutely was. The ones that I've handed out and framed, people really appreciate that. What I like about it as a racer is the moment that you capture on the outside of the vehicle, what we get to reflect upon and think about what we were doing when you got that shot. And what happened to me is I had a new navigator in the car, didn't know much about his ability to navigate, and afterwards come to find out this guy's an avid dirt biker and really knew how to read the terrain and got us through that silt bed. And we just could not believe we made it to the other side, and we can finally see, which you can see in the picture, there's like clear air in front of us, and we made it to the other side. So it was an epic moment for me. I love looking at the photo. But I guess my point is that you know Baja really well, don't you?
Yeah, quite a bit now. I mean, we've done so many trips down the peninsula and back now, and so many thousands and 500s and San Felipe 250. We recently just did obviously Nora and Trail Missions with Cameron Steele, and that's always an epic trip. So we're always getting to see new things all the time on Cameron's trip, and even Nora. There's always new things popping up. So we're always taking notes and everything. Every trip we go down, I'm marking stuff on our own, scouting kind of GPS file for photo spots. So if we ever go through some of these areas again, whether it be daylight or night time, and I could go haul down lights or whatever, I know that spot's there. So, but usually we try and go look back at it again before we actually decide to shoot in an area.
Yeah, well, that's what always fascinates me. I'm in my race car. I'm in what I believe to be the middle of nowhere, and we're hauling butt, heading south for the finish line, maybe days away. And all of a sudden I come around the corner, and there you are with your camera and your hat and your setup. I'm like, where did he come from? I mean, how do you find those places? Yeah. It just blows me away. Are you camped out there for days on end or what?
Well, sometimes we can be out there for days, but most of the time we're just like race teams. They go down and pre-run weeks before the race, or a few days before, we do the same thing, but we're scouting for photo locations.
Yeah.
So we go and looking for those areas, and there's times where, different races that race down there, like Nora and, Score Baja 500 or 1,000, they go through some of the same areas sometimes. So you just take some of those notes from other events and you see where the course goes. So you're like, oh, I know that's good from the past, so I'm going to go shoot that. Sometimes it can be still hit or miss sometimes if you don't scout it beforehand.
Yeah.
But you never know, but you just have an eye for it, and you have to adapt. If the spot doesn't work out, you have to adapt and make things work for you,
Yeah.
So,
well, Brian,
that spot was just epic. I mean, that was a great spot, and you came through just at the right time when the dust cleared so I could get that amazing shot. So thank God it did.
Yeah, right. I mean, otherwise
that dust cleared.
It would have been a different shot. Yeah. Well, Brian, a lot of people that listen to this show have not been to Baja before, and they're aspiring to go down, whether that's a wine trip or fishing, or maybe it's their first race, or they want to go spectate or something. What can you tell people about just in general Baja, and then maybe we can get into a couple details, but what's your overview of Baja what do you tell people when they say, I want to go down?
I say, dude, you need to go experience. I mean, starting through Tecate, going through the wine country. I mean, Guadalupe Valley is amazing. I mean, and then obviously if you're going for the race, I mean, you have to partake in the festivities down in Ensenada. And, then the further south you go, I mean, there's just the more open it gets and the more beautiful the places and spots are, the beaches, the surfing, the list goes on and on. I mean, but you have to start with Baja Bound Insurance. Yeah. We get Baja Bound Insurance too. So
I'm sure you do. Yeah. Be prepared before you go, right?
Same thing. It can be last minute too, right when we're crossing the border. So
yeah. Well,
which is great because you do forget.
I like.
But I mean, we enjoy it all. The food, the culture, the people. The people are so amazing and so nice and so friendly. You could break in the middle of nowhere or have an issue. We've had studs break on our pre-runner one time, and next thing you know, these guys are jumping out of the bushes, figuring out, helping us fix the car.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's important to talk about. How helpful people are down there, how giving, how big their hearts are, and their willingness to make us a part of their lives.
Definitely. I mean, it seems like every time we've gone down, and we go down and we'll, give stickers to the kids, and it's just, they're ecstatic, and I love seeing the smiles on the kids' faces and the families when we roll through towns and stuff like that. I mean, they're honestly so pumped to see us, and I get a buzz just seeing that, I'm not even drinking, and I get a buzz doing that because it's so cool.
Yeah, and if you're anything like me, you know that there's a lot of little towns in between point A and point B where you either know somebody or you've got your favorite taco stand or you can get gas there or what have you. And for me, that's where the fun begins because you get to see friends or have some familiarity with the most random of places. It's just that's what excites me.
Definitely. I mean, it feels the same here. I mean, just meeting back up with people that you've met down there or those taco stands. I mean, you can't beat some of those tacos in Baja,
Well, do you have a favorite one? Because everybody has their own favorite taco debate.
It's a hard choice, but I mean, it's El Trello. I can't even say it.
Trelero.
Trello. Yeah. Can't even say it. That one and, the other one, I'm blanking on the name right now, Jim.
That's okay.
Over in Valley T. The Valley T taco.
You don't even need to know their name. All you have to say is the taco stand in Valley T, right? So yeah,
taco stand in Valley T.
Those are the two top contenders. Ranchero down there in La Paz, everybody loves that place. Kind of that outdoor area. We all eat on the sidewalk out there, but no, you're right. There's just so many great places to go while you're down there and enjoy the hospitality. I've been very pro tourism for Baja, and clearly, you are as well. I see you always coming down with different people.